All right, we're back at SEMA here again. We have Pan with us here, and we've got his new detailing product line behind us, which is a exciting new development for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you want me to talk about the product?
I think let's talk about the line here. You've got, what have you got here? You've got 6 products and your 2 coatings as well.
Yes. But before we do that, the introduction was kind of a little bit weak. So let's
do a traditional Pan intro.
How I do it on my channel.
Let's do it. I'll give you the stage, Pan.
Welcome to another episode of Pan The Organiser.
That's the one we want.
All right, everyone. So first of all, New Zealanders.
Yes.
Is that how you call people from New Zealand?
Kiwis.
Kiwis, okay.
Kiwis.
So I'm from Canada. We appreciate each other. Thanks for having me on your show, by the way.
Thank you.
I want to give a big shout out to everyone out there. So let's talk about the product line. First of all, after almost 9 years now on YouTube, I had promised my audience if I had ever reached 1 million subscribers, I'd look into having my own product line. Okay. And I'm a man that stays true to his word. So here we are today. I work closely with different chemists from different labs. So as I'm free to roam as I want, I use the contacts that I created over the years to kind of figure out in the industry who are the best people making the best products. So I wanted something for my line. I had certain standards and benchmarks that I said, listen, we have to have that and more. So this is the genesis of all the line. I wanted something that is simple, available to DIYers, but also for the professionals. I was listening to feedback from their comments on other brands saying, listen, when we're professionals, we don't want to dive into a line where we need to sign contracts. We have to jump through hoops and loops to get into the product line or to sign exclusive contracts or even getting certified, all that kind of stuff. They just want to access lines without getting locked in, right? So this is what this lineup is all about, accessible to everyone, easy to use, but you get the best possible performance in my opinion. So we're going to start out with these ceramic coatings. I call them the crown jewels of my lineup because I absolutely love ceramic coatings. So we have a 3-year coating, an 8-year coating. These are technically SiO2 based, so silica or silicon dioxide. So the traditional ceramic coatings, but what's special about these, it's a thicker formula for a thicker film build. And also inside there, we added flex agents. So if you look at metal, for example, on a car, so all that sheet will expand and contract with the heat, with the cold. So if you want to prevent microfracturing, that is the coating kind of separating and you're degenerating the coating over time. You want it to be able to flex with the expansion and contraction. And with those flex agents, we also added adhesion promoters. What does that mean? It seems complicated. It's just something that basically is like glue. So it's going to promote the cross-linking and polymerizing on the surface for a better bond to the surface. Also, another thing that I heard, people are tired of buying multiple coatings for multiple surfaces. You have a bottle for glass, a bottle for paint, a bottle for wheels, a bottle for plastic, so on and so forth, a bottle for PPF and vinyl wraps. So these coatings are multi-surface compatible. So you can apply them on paint, you can apply them on glass, on wheels, on plastics, on lights, on metal, even stainless steel on Cybertrucks. These are fantastic on those surfaces. You can apply them on vinyl wraps, on PPF, and regardless if they're glossy or matte surfaces. So this is as good as it gets.
So would you use one of these over the other, let's say you were applying to wheels, brake calipers. Are you going for your 8-year, your 3-year, either or?
The performance is identical as far as, let's say, the gloss, the slickness. You're just turning, with the 8-year coating, you're bumping if you're getting a level 10 or for gloss and slickness with the 3-year. You can see that you're getting a level 11 with the 8. So we're just turning the dial up, but the main differentiator is the durability in terms of years and just slightly more chemical resistance on the 8-year. They're both super good for chemical resistance, pH 1 to pH 14, for anything used to detail cars, obviously. And these are 1-layer systems, nothing complicated, none of that 3, 4, 15 layers, no toppers needed. As long as you maintain the car, keep it washed. Of course, if you want to apply the ceramic spray sealant, which we'll talk about, no problem. Who doesn't want to boost gloss and slickness after a wash? That's fine, but you don't need to. So as long as you use decontamination every now and then, iron removers, water spot removers, and keep the coating going, you're fine. Only an hour of curing. So I heard professionals as well, they don't want to wait 24 hours before releasing a vehicle to the customer in the elements, right? So an hour of curing, you're good to go. You can drive off even if it's raining. It doesn't matter.
Back in the elements. After 1 hour.
So it's still a 7-day for a full chemical cure, but one of the firsts in the industry to have a 12-hour, after you're done for 12 hours, you can use a pH neutral car shampoo to wash the car. So if you get bird bombs, for example, exactly, you don't want the bird dropping to start etching through the well, eventually the clear coat, but before that through the coating. So you can use a pH neutral shampoo to wash your car. So that's awesome. talking about pH neutral shampoo. So we have our own Clean by Pan shampoo. So what I wanted is the entire lineup to also make it simple. So the names on the product are what the product actually is.
Okay, so we're not using any fancy names, any aneurysms. We're just going
exactly
what the product is. Okay.
So we have the color wheel here. Basically, this gives you the color that's inside there. We used food grade dyes and scents. So even the scent and all of these, we made sure that it's pretty good.
That's a question that I want to ask you, because something that we've found, particularly with these two products, the scent is fantastic. So how much did you go back and forth on scents to come out with this combination?
An insane amount. So what we did, we worked with perfumers. So they sent a bunch of different vials and they put numbers on them. So I didn't even know what the scent was before. So I asked the chemist, can you tell me what it is? He says, no, I don't want you to be biased thinking, let's say if you know it's strawberry and you know you like strawberry, you're going to be inclined to want to pick that first. So he's like, only numbered, you smell them, you tell me what you like, and we'll put them in there. And then afterwards, he revealed what the scents actually was. Fun experiment, right?
So what scent are we working with here?
Sorry?
What scent is in here?
Oh, you'll have to see the video because they're so complicated. I have a video on my channel. It's not just one thing. There's many things in there.
That's only been published. That's been published in the last couple of days, hasn't it? Yes. Okay. So go over to Pan's channel, and you'll be able to see what the scents are.
Because I always reveal everything in advance, so people kind of smell and then know what's in there. I want that same experiment.
What I can tell you guys is they smell really good.
We're probably going to make air fresheners out of a few of them in there. So yeah, the lineup itself, I also want to mention, it's free of any PFAS, no forever chemicals, no fluoropolamides, no fluorine, and no Teflon. So none of that dangerous stuff. We're already at the forefront of future rules and regulations, which are changing worldwide. So I wanted to make sure that my products are safe to use for people. I have a background in molecular biology and biochemistry as well. So when I'm talking with the chemists, this was very important for me to be at the forefront of all of those new regulations.
Does that make it easier for you to ship these products around the world as well? Because I know some different countries, we have different laws. So does that mean you can roll this out worldwide pretty quickly?
Yeah, exactly. Like California, for example, has very strict rules on VOCs. So you got to be VOC compliant. And wherever we use VOCs, we're always VOC compliant. Europe is going to be even tougher on rules and regulations. So as I heard of 2025, no PFAS are going to be allowed. So we're already good to go. So yeah, it makes it much easier to ship because you're compliant with any rules, right? So we have the pH neutral soap. We have a blend of 2 super premium surfactants in there, Y2. They attack different soilings, different types of dirt on the surface. High concentration, 256:1, which means half an ounce for every gallon of water. In a foam cannon, typically, if you want good foam, about an ounce. If you want great foam, 2 ounces, sun-friendly. In your bucket, 4 gallons of water, only 2 ounces, you're good to go. In the foam cannon, the cool thing, you're gonna see that dual layer stage. So you're foaming on. When it's time to rinse, you're gonna see the initial foam going away, and you're gonna see the second stage. That's the second surfactant that's on there, and it rinses freely at the end, even in direct sunlight. It doesn't streak, it doesn't leave any residue. That was highly important, even for mobile detailers or DIYers who clean their cars in their driveway. Next, we have the rinseless wash. It's gaining in popularity, the rinseless washes around the world, because not everybody has access to free-flowing water. Some people are condo dwellers, apartment dwellers. They want an easy way or a safe way to wash their car. So as long as it's not super dirty, still use common sense, right? A rinseless wash doesn't mean you never rinse. It only means no rinsing is needed at the end of the wash process. So obviously, if you have a thick layer of mud, you're going to pre-rinse that first, just like you wouldn't put your wash mitt with the shampoo on a muddy car before pre-rinsing it, right?
We're big fans of rinseless. We've just done a series on our channel where we've tested out probably about 10, 12 different rinselesses. We're really excited to put this up against the latest and greatest from SEMA 24.
So what we did with this one is kind of a hybrid. So there are surfactants in there, and there's also polymers. Why polymers? Not only for lubrication, this has very high lubrication, sun-friendly as well, but I wanted the experience at the end of the drying process to give you that slick feel on the surface, which I just feel gives it that little extra. And when people ask, well, does it leave something that alters the surface or lasts too long? No, it's a few days up to your next wash at best. It's just to leave that slick feel, but nothing that cures on the surface. So it's just an added pleasure of use, right?
Is this a product that you come behind and use your ceramic spray sealant as a drying aid on top of this?
You can absolutely do that. It's not needed because it's its own drying aid. There's so much lubrication, but if you do want an even more gloss and slickness, yes, you can use it. Everything here is chemically compatible. So that was the goal of the line as well, have this chemistry. The next one, the spray polish. Why one product, right? I was tired of seeing people needing to use 35 compounds, 32 different polishes, 52 different pads. You're making test spots. It's never ending. We wanted something that would cover you, let's say 95% of the situations. So spray, you're using much less compared to a liquid. When you're spraying on, it gives an even application on your pad, 2 sprays to prime, and then 1 or 2 sprays for your subsequent passes. But the cool thing about this, the abrasive package that's in there is so advanced, it's made for quick cutting. quick in and out. So 1 or 2 passes, so 1 up and down, 1 left and right. The first pass is going to do your cutting, second pass your polishing.
Okay.
So if you pair it with a cutting pad, this is going to act as a compound. If you pair it with a polishing pad, it's going to be a polish. So it can cut all the way down to 1,200, even 1,000 grit sanding marks, and it can also finish down to just some beautiful jeweling if you use it with a jeweling pad. So I wanted something simple, 1 spray. I'm having 3 pads as well, added probably in the next month. We're almost at the final stages.
Okay.
So a 3-pad lineup, very simple. Once again, a wool cutting pad, a blue foam polishing pad that can be used as a 1-step as well, and a jeweling foam waffle pad. So I wanted to take the guesswork out of, because people I know, if they want to start, even the DIYers, you want to start paint correction, and it gets stressful, right? How many pads, which pads?
Barrier to entry there is hard,
And
right?
it shouldn't be like that, because when you get the basics, paint correction is not super complicated, especially in today's world with dual action polishers. You're not going to burn through your paint. You need to be standing, adding 15 pounds of pressures for like 10 to 12 minutes before even starting doing damage to the clear coat. So don't be worried, enjoy it. And that was the point of this. I want people to enjoy detailing. The more simple you make things, the more inclined people are willing to test the products, have fun, and get great results, right?
I think there's that misconception though that polishing and coating, probably coating is the one where people just think, oh, I cannot do that. I have to take it to a professional to do it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's the hard work. Like barrier to entry, hard.
100%.
Hard work, time, you got to put it in.
Yes.
That is the easy. That's where
You got it.
You get the reward out of it. It's easy.
All the prep work, I say always before time, that's the longest and hardest. And actually, it's not that hard. But applying the coating nowadays, that's actually the easiest part. So coatings have evolved so much. So if we go back 5-10 years ago, you needed multiple layers. You were sweating thinking about the flashing effect. Are you leaving it too long? Are you going to get high spots? So all those conditions that you needed to be in, it was complicated for people, and I understand why the majority say, you know what, I'm going to stick to sprays. It's easier, it's quicker. But technology has evolved so much now. You're getting 1-layer coatings. 1 hour, you can go ahead and drive off any elements. You apply them, these ones in particular, you let them sit 1 to 2 minutes on the surface. Then you use your first towel to level, second towel to buff. A child can apply this. So
okay.
Now
we put that to the test?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Try it. And
might get my daughter to apply maybe the 3-year coating. We get it.
I had my brother try. He has 0 detailing experience, and that's kind of my benchmark. Somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, if they just read the instructions and you let them go without any guidance or anything more, they can do it. And it just the wipe off is always the same thing. They start wiping. You come back a few minutes later, you rub the back of your hand. You're like, oh, you feel that slickness.
Your brother's a bit of a cult hero on the channel. I noticed in the comments every time he hops on there. Like when you did the interior recently, the comments are so kind to your brother on there. So
he's a great human.
Has he got this in his garret? Are you giving him this? Is he
not yet, because it's still fresh. We're always selling out, so it's hard for me to actually get stock. But I promised him he'll have gallons, 16 ounces, everything.
He'll have everything.
Up.
Okay. And then we've got panel prep. So we've probably done this in a. I mean, we haven't done it in the wrong order, have we?
We're washing, polishing, and then panel prep.
Ignore the coatings we spoke about earlier at the end.
So the panel prep spray, what's special about this? Panel prep sprays typically are known as IPAs, right? Isopropyl alcohol. The issue with people only using isopropyl alcohol diluted in water is that you're not actually pulling all of the oils onto the surface. IPA alone is not enough for that, so that's a misconception in the industry that just IPA can fully remove polishing oils. Because it's important, if you want to apply your ceramic coating, you have to remove all the oils and residue before, so you get a proper bond from the coating to the surface. Now what we did with this one, we went further in the chemistry, so yes, there is isopropyl alcohol, but that's for the evaporation, but we also added VOC compliant solvents and also surfactants. So if you look at your clear coat through a microscope, you'd see that there's hills and valleys. It's not a flat surface. So in those hills and valleys, the polishing oils, they tend to accumulate. So what you do with this kind of technology is you're actually pulling the oils up, you're cutting them, removing them, dissolving them. So you're actually getting a clean surface. Also, one note for the spray polish, this one leaves almost no polishing oils behind, very little. No dusting, there's no silicone, so it's body shop safe, and you're going to see when you buff it off, it leaves nothing behind. You're done with your spray polish, your panel prep spray after that, and you're good to apply your wax, your sealant, your ceramic coating, whatever you want to apply on top of that. The ceramic spray sealant. So this is quickly becoming a crowd favorite. This one always sells out so quickly because it's simple to apply, but we made it in a way that you can use it 3 different ways. So 6 to 12 months of protection if you apply it on a dry surface. Of course, wash your car, prep it well if you need to do iron decontamination, clay the surface, machine polish, panel prep spray. The more time you spend prepping your paint, the longer the protection is going to last for any protection, by the way, not just my brand, but any protection, the better the results are going to be and the higher performance you're going to get. So this on dry dry, 6 to 12 months, of course, many variables, application, conditions, weather, mileage, your maintenance, all that kind of stuff, right? But great protection.
Can this go on glass as well? Will this play nicely with
Every exterior surface.
Okay.
Plastics, glass, wheels, you name it, paint, whatever. Even PPF, even matte surfaces.
Yeah.
On your matte surfaces, the only difference, you'd apply on a towel first and then wipe the towel on the surface.
Okay.
But I wanted something that is multi-surface compatible and glossy or matte, it doesn't matter. So the dry is how you're going to get the longest durability, but you can also use it on a wet surface as a drying aid. So you wash your car, you rinse it off while it's still wet, spray 1 to 2 sprays per panel, not more. This is a highly concentrated formula. Take your drying towel, dry it off, and you can also use it as a spray-on, rinse-off sealant. So you washed your car, you rinsed it off while it's still wet, 1 or 2 sprays per panel. You're going to take your pressure washer, you're going to rinse from bottom to top to spread the product around and activate it, and then rinse top to bottom, dry the car, and that's it. And you got water beating. You're going to get amazing gloss and slickness, and the next day the gloss gets even better.
Okay,
so that was
longevity-wise, if we're going to do that, because obviously dry spraying, you're going to get that 6 to 12.
Yes.
We're reducing that quite significantly, I imagine, if we're applying it in that fashion.
Oh, well, yeah, if you're applying on a wet surface, you're not going to get that extreme durability. But what the wet surface application allows you to do is use it every week.
Okay.
So I wouldn't apply it on dry every week because it's so stout. This too has a pH 1 to 14 chemical resistance, which is rare for a spray. Very durable. So you're not going to apply it every week because it's going to streak on you and it's going to overbuild because it rejects itself. But you can use it every week or every day if you want after each wash process as a drying aid or as a spray-on rinse-off. So on a wet surface, no problem because you're diluting the product on there.
Exactly.
So you're not going to run into issues like that. So this is a perfect maintenance topper as well. If you have an existing ceramic coating, even if you have no protection on your paint, you can use it as a standalone paint protectant. And of course, the final touch, the 6 to 12 months on dry surfaces.
6 to 12 months on dry.
And then on wet, you can use it as often as you want. Durability there is not really known because you don't know how much you're applying, how much you're diluting, so a few months most probably.
And on your personal vehicles then, so if you were going to use strictly your product line, which you should.
Yes.
I mean, for some, So you would, how would you apply this? You'd put your coating on. I imagine, let's say you put an 8-year coating on your car.
Absolutely.
You come along with your spray sealant, you'd dry apply it once, and then you would go on top of that.
Not even, because the coating is your base layer of protection. So I would just, if you want to use the ceramic spray sealant, drying aid, spray on, rinse off on a wet surface. You don't even need to apply it on dry because this is your durable
That's going to give you durability.
Yeah, you wouldn't need this on a dry. You can if you want to, but there's no need to. You can just have fun with this every single wash. Just use it as drying aid, drying lubricant. That way also people have to realize that when you're drying a vehicle with a towel, you want to make sure you prevent any marring, and how you do that is with tons of lubrication on the surface. So when you're using a drying aid, it acts as a lubricant and as a buffer between the paint and your towel as well. So having that little buffer there, that extra cushion, prevents the marring or the love marks when you're drying the car or when you're actually also hand washing. That's why we've got to make sure you have something that has high lubrication.
Exactly.
So under your wash mitt, you're getting that nice buffer so you're not getting any marring on the surface, right? So when you're done doing the entire detail, I always like, as a finishing touch, to have a tire dressing. So in this one, we have the Clean by Pan tire dressing. What's so special about this? I had noticed that the majority of water-based dressings, as easy as they are to apply and to remove, they're not made to be durable. So a few washes, or even if you go out in the rain, and they're usually pretty much done, about a week of durability. So with this one, 3 to 4 weeks of durability, and it's solvent-based, VOC compliant. There's 2 different blends of solvents in there, but there's actually an amino curing function in there that will make the product bond to the tire and leave a hydrophobic layer of protection behind. So you're going to see that water beating. It has chemical resistance, believe it or not. I have a video on this where we used PNS Brake Buster as a tire cleaner. It would still resist and still bead. And then we went to Caro Retire, which is a crazy...
that's strong.
So that removes everything, and it's still resistant. We went to a point where my friend Jamie, who was at the House of Rags, at the end, he's like, you know what? He opened the bottle of Retire, emptied it completely on the tire, and it's still resistant. So you're not supposed to have chemical durability out of a dressing, but we added that in there. Also, once you're done applying, 10 minutes later, you can drive off in the elements. It's dry to the touch. An hour is the best case scenario if possible, but it's going to last a long time. Gives you that deep, dark shine. It has no scent, this one.
Yeah, I was just about to say that your whole line has a really good scent. This one here, it seems like you've just gone for performance to get the best longevity.
Some products, sometimes you want to prevent the scent from perhaps affecting the chemistry. So we're going to see in future iterations if we're going to modify that or not.
Tire dressings are something that a lot of people seem to play with scents with. I know that most of them on the market, like we think that the Obsessed Garage tire dressing, that blueberry scent, is one of the best detailing scents on the market. So that's interesting that we haven't got a scent there. But I mean, if that's in the name of better longevity, better
Always.
performance
I
out
will
of the
never
product.
sacrifice performance over scent first. So scent is an addition, so we'll see in future iterations. Another thing I want to mention about this, so the finish it gives. When you apply it, it looks a bit glossy, but the next day it dries to a satin appearance.
Okay.
So
Would you flatten it down?
You can.
Okay.
So if you apply it and you want something more matte, after the 10 minutes, just give it a wipe with a microfiber towel.
Okay.
You're going to have an even more matte appearance. But I wanted something in between, super glossy, so not that overly wet look and greasy look, but not matte where you don't see anything on the tire. So I like a satin effect. But yeah, you can wipe it down if you want an even more matte effect. And for those who want a glossier effect, once you're done going around the vehicle with your first layer, come back to your first tire and start applying your second layer, and then you're going to get even more gloss.
Okay.
So, but it gives you that darkened effect. So that's what I wanted, is to have that like OEM tire feel with a little bit more of a little something beautifying at the end. So that's the lineup.
So I think what's interesting here is there's some core products. There's probably a couple that we'd think we're missing from a core product.
Yep.
Is that
Or
by design? Like I'm thinking interior, glass.
Yep.
Is there a reason why you've gone with this line?
Yep.
I'm assuming this is first. I wouldn't
Exactly.
say this would be your whole line in 2 years' time.
We're already working on R&D, so you have to start at some point, right?
Yep.
So to launch all this, it's been about a year now of just R&D, testing. Instead of having 52 products at launch, which I don't want an overly complicated lineup, I wanted something simple. So what were the basics that I know I want to get to people so they can start doing at least the exterior of their vehicle from beginning to end. So from your washing, to your polishing, to your panel prep spray, to the protection where it's the ceramic spray sealant or the coating, and of course the tire dressing to finish it off. But in the future, I'm taking comments as well. So I always read and reply to viewers' comments on YouTube. So I'm seeing what people want in the future. So wheel and tire cleaners, glass cleaners, iron removers, a bunch of other stuff, interior detailers, exterior quick detail sprays. So we're working on a lot of that, but it takes a lot of time because I'm obsessed with testing. I didn't want to be biased for my own line because these are my babies. So I had Jamie the Cleaner and also Eddie Cologne from EC Details. They're the owners of the House of Rags, my exclusive distributors. They're professional detailers. They live in a different country than me. They live in different conditions. Jamie, for example, is in Louisiana in the USA. So very high temperatures, very high humidity. Different from Montreal, Canada. We get these crazy winters. So I had this opportunity to have people test with me as well and tell me if there's something wrong, you got to let me know. I got to give feedback to the chemists and readjust. So by having multiple people give you feedback, I think it's the way to go, but that takes time. And also with the chemists, there was a lot of back and forth because I had different labs. I didn't want to get stuck to only one chemist in one lab, as I'm free to go wherever I want.
Okay, so we've across the line here, we've got multiple chemists.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
The chemist who did this is not the chemist who did this.
Okay.
So I wanted to be free, and just again with the contacts, I knew which chemist was specialized in which type of thing. And another thing I want to say, these are my proprietary blends. So this is not white labeling, this is private labeling. And what the difference is white labeling, typically you slap your name on there, change the color, the scent, call it a day, but they're not your formulas. For me to add value to my brand, it was important for me, especially with biochemistry background, is to have my own intellectual property. So nobody else has these formulas, they're my own. So I'm free to also leave in the future and go elsewhere with my formulas because they're legally mine. And then I can go to another lab and have them blend my stuff later on. So I think that was important for me to have the full control of my stuff and then have a direct relationship and be able to talk to these different chemists from different labs, even sometimes pitting them against each other. So for example, the shampoo, 3 different chemists, they had a mission. The one who wins, that creates the best one, that's the one I'm going with for the soap. So by creating this friendly competition, but still a competition, I said, well, in the end, there can only be one winner. So everybody gives that extra 1, 2, 3% to make sure you're at the top of the top. And I think we created something I'm really proud of at the end of the day. Now, will it be the best for everyone? That's up to you to decide. I think everybody has their own bias or sometimes their budget, their experience. But this, I think, through independent reviews that we've seen so far, if you guys haven't tried them yet, I'm pretty sure you're going to like them. A lot of pride, joy, effort, hard work, just testing went into this. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good lineup.
Well, we're really excited to get our hands on these in New Zealand. I think that we heard some whispers yesterday about some distribution and how we might be able to get our hands on those. So hopefully soon you'll see a full product review on the channel. I'm really excited to, in particular, try the rinse list, but that shampoo as well. I think that's something else that we really like to try different shampoos.
I can't wait to hear the feedback.
Play with the scents, and we'll try and guess these scents as well before we watch that video.
Oh, that's good.
We might, as we wander wander around filming some clips after this. We might say to the camera what we think these scents are, and then we'll go
in advance, and then
we'll go watch
actually
that video
are. I
later,
love that.
and
I love that.
see how close we are. He's pretty good with scents. I'm not too great.
Okay,
so
okay.
We'll see where we land. But no, thanks so much, Pan, for
my pleasure.
talking us through the product line. And I'm gonna step out and let Pan do the outro.
traditional?
You guys all know and love,
Well,
that one. All over to you.
everyone, thanks for being there. Thanks for watching. And in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean. We'll all see you on the next one.